Hello friends, we welcome you all to this 10th session of Unit 2 Digital Logic and Data Presentation. In our previous session, we had studied in detail about the data presentation systems. We have completed the various elements of data presentation systems like analog digital meters, CRT monitors, cathode ray oscilloscopes, visual display units, different types of displays, LED and LCD displays, and we moved on our discussion to printers. Printers record the information in the digital format and produces the output in the format of a printed paper, that is. And next we saw different types of printer, that is impact type and the non-impact type. Dot matrix printer was the impact type of printer, and the non-impact type inkjet and laser printer. In the inkjet printers, we saw the different types of inkjet printers, that is piezoelectric type and bubble or thermal inkjet printers. The fundamental concepts of working we have understood in detail. And lastly, we saw laser printers, so which uses a laser beam to charge the drum, which attracts the toner powder and which itself is impinged on the paper in order to produce the letters and images on the paper. The fundamental concepts have been understood using suitable videos. With this understanding, let us move on to data acquisition systems. We have completed all kinds of data presentation systems that are part of our discussion as per the syllabus, and now we will move on our discussion to data acquisition systems. In today's session, we will understand what exactly the data acquisition systems are. As the name itself indicates, data acquisition is data procurement for further processing. We have seen data being converted into different formats, that is from analog to digital, digital to analog. Here in data acquisition system, we are going to study something similar to this. We will also be studying multiplexers, which are integrated part of study of data acquisition system, and we will see plug-in boards, which forms one practical example of data acquisition systems used in our computers. First, let us try to understand what exactly is multiplexer. Multiplexer, also called as MUX, MUX, it is a circuit which is able to have inputs of data from number of sources. For example, we are receiving data from, let us say, 4 sensors: sensor 1, sensor 2, sensor 3 and sensor 4. 2, 3, 4. And we have to select only one data depending on some predefined condition, that is defined by select variable or the select input called as select input 1, let us say C1 and C2 or S1 and S2, and it will produce only one output. It doesn't produce only one output, it just selects one input to be given as the output. So we can understand this as a switching mechanism, so wherein it just selects one input to be given out. So we can call multiplexer as a circuit which selects only one output from a number of input. The inputs may be from different sources. The selecting the one input from many alternatives is the task which we have to understand properly. The multiplexer is also known as the data selector. So here it is possible for several signals to share one device or resource. How we will understand? If each input from each sensors are taken to the output device, then it is very cumbersome task because it needs more resources. Now the multiplexer has reduced this cumbersome task. It acts as a data selector whereby it selects the data depending on the select variable. It is acts as a data selector here. It selects only one input and it passes to the next stage. The representation of mux is as shown in the figure. The multiplexer can be represented in this trapezoidal format or like this, with having input lines, multiple input lines and a single output. We must always remember multiplexer can have n number of inputs, but it will have only one output. So the representation here it is shown with two inputs and one output. The input can be 2, 4, 8 etc. and we have one select variable or the select line it is called as. The multiplexers are mainly used to increase the amount of data that can be sent over the network within a certain amount of time. Here let us try to understand the different types of multiplexers. We can have multiplexer with 4 input lines. Let us say the inputs are x1, x2, x3 and x4 are the inputs, and the select variable or the select input are, let us say, C0 or C1 or C1 and C2, but it will produce only one output. That has to be remembered always. The multiplexer just does the function of a data selector. Here one has to understand, if we have n input lines, then what is the number of select lines required? If we have 4 input lines, that is 2 power m will be equal to n. N is the number of input lines, let us say 4 here. In order to get 4, it has to be 2 power 2 equal to n, that is 4. We'll write it in the brackets as n. Therefore m is the value which indicates the number of select input or selection variables. So for a multiplexer with 4 inputs, we have to have a minimum of 2 select variables or select signals, they are called as. So for, let us say, this example, we have 2 input lines, therefore 2 power m equal to number of input lines n. In number of input is 2, so 2 power 1 is 2, so therefore m equal to 1. M is nothing but the number of select signal, so the select input or select signal here it is 1. So for 8 lines, similarly we can find out, so 2 power m equal to number of input lines. If there are 8 input lines, so 2 power 3 is equal to 8, so we should have 3 select signal. So minimum 3 select signals are necessary for an 8-bit input lines. So these are the 8 input lines. Whatever the number of inputs are, the output will be only 1. So based on the input and the output, mux are named as. For 2 inputs and single output, it is called as 2:1 or 2x1 type of multiplexer, and for 4 inputs and single output, it is called as 4:1 type multiplexer. For 8:1 For 8 inputs and single output, it is called as 8:1 or 8:1 type of multiplexer. The multiplexer has an advantage because it reduces the resource needed. Here with the data selector multiplexer, we are avoiding each line for the inputs. If there are 4 input, we may be needing 4 different lines. Therefore, this is avoided by using a data selector. Reduce circuit complexity and cost. The circuit complexity has reduced because number of lines required is very less. Implementation of various circuit with mux is possible because the same set of sensor values can be fed to different circuits without using any additional resources. So here we are able to see the multiplexer realized using NOT gate, AND gates and OR gates. So here we have x0, x1, x2, x3 as inputs, 4 number of inputs, output is only 1 m, therefore this is 4 cross 1 multiplexer. So here the select variables are 2, which has to be, because 2 power 2 is equal to 4, therefore 2 is the number of select inputs. Let us see how this acts as the multiplexer among different alternatives. x0, x1, x2, x3 are the various inputs. Depending on the value of C0 and C1, the one value will be selected and it will be given as the input. The inputs are C1 and C0. Let us see what will be the output when both are 0. When C1 is 0, C0 is 1. When this is 1, this is 0. When both are 1. All these possible cases can be realized in a truth table. When both are 0, first let us try to understand the circuit. Here x0 is given to one AND gate, x1 is given to another one. Let us say this is 1, 2, third AND gate and fourth AND gate. All these outputs are supplied to one OR gate. So OR gate is for addition, AND gate is for multiplication, we all know. So when we multiply, here AND gate has 3 inputs, not only 2 inputs, it has 3 inputs. Let us say A, B, C. The output A into B into C will be high only when all the 3 are high. When any one of the inputs is 0, then the output will be definitely 0. With this condition, let us try to understand this circuit. When C1, C2 both are 0, observe the circuit. C1 is feeding directly. C1 feeds directly or becomes the direct input to AND gate number 4 and AND gate number 3, and it forms the negated input to gate number 1, AND gate 1 and AND gate 2. So when C1 and C2 both are 0, what happens? Let us understand. C0 gives input directly to gate number 3 and gate number 4. C0 gives directly input to the AND gate number 4 and AND gate number 2, but it gives a negated input to gate number 1 and gate number 3. Now C1 is 0, C0 is 0. C1 is feeding directly to gate number 4 and gate number 3. Therefore, when any one of the input is 0, the output will be definitely 0. So there is no output from here and here, because C1 0 is coming directly here. Now C0 is coming directly to gate number 2. So when any one of the input is 0, output is definitely 0. So here C1 becomes 1 here, and 1 is fed to gate number 2, but gate number 2 has no output because C0 has 0 entered here. Therefore C0 0 gets negated here, it becomes 1 and enters the gate number 1, and C1 after getting complemented enters gate number 1 and x0 enters gate number 1. Therefore, all the three inputs are high. Therefore, we get the output x0. And here no output, no output, no output, they are considered as 0, and we have 0 plus x0. If x0 is 1, 0 plus 1 will result in 1. So we will get the signal x0. So when select signal C1 and C0 both are 0, the signal x0 is taken as the output. Similarly, when C1, C2, C1, C0 are 0 and 1 changed, similar different output will be resulted, and in all 4 cases, all 4 possible results will be occurring. The reader can verify the truth table for all the cases and see when the other signals are selected for the output. Similar to multiplexer, we have demultiplexer circuit, which is the exact opposite of the multiplexer. It simply chooses one signal in order to feed the 4 lines. It just does the job exactly opposite to the multiplexer, and it is called as the demultiplexer. It takes a single input and it feeds the other 4 input lines. It also acts as the similar to data selector. So next is data acquisition systems. Data acquisition systems, as the name itself indicates, they takes data from sensors and convert it into digital form. The data acquisition systems inputs the signal into a computer for processing. The sensors are connected via signal conditioning to the DAQ board, that is data acquisition board. So here the sensors may be producing very weak or very strong signal, or a signal which needs some additional filtration, which are done using signal conditioning. Signal conditioning ensures the signal is at a proper value before it is fed to the data acquisition. So inputs from different sensors, maybe 1, 2, 3 sensors, or temperature sensor, pressure sensor, etc., fed to the signal conditioning element. The signal will be strengthened or enriched or modified, and then it will go to the digital to analog converter board, and the signal will therefore drive the computer, or it will enter into the computer or the microcontroller for further decision making. The data acquisition system forms the housing for this entire processing of data. The data acquisition systems takes data, as we have seen, from the sensor. It inputs into the computer for further processing. We have different kinds of data processing. Mainly, the data acquisition systems can be classified into analog data acquisition system and digital data acquisition system. Analog data acquisition systems can be operated with analog signals, as the name itself indicates. The basic elements of analog data acquisition systems are transducers, signal conditioners, display devices, graphic recording instruments, and magnetic tape instrumentation. All these are housed within an analog data acquisition. Transducer, it converts a physical quantity into an electrical signal. It converts one form of energy into another. Signal conditioner performs the work like amplification, filtering, conditioning, strengthening, etc., so that the signal achieves the desired limit. Display device displays the signal in the monitor, that is the part of data presentation. Graphic recording instrument makes record of the input data permanently, like our chart recorders, ECG meters, etc. Magnetic tape instrumentation is used for storing, like our compact disc, hard disk, etc. All these forms an integral part of analog data acquisition system. Next type of data acquisition system is the digital type data acquisition system. The digital data acquisition system can be operated with only digital signals. The digital components of storing or displaying the information is very easy. We have read from our first class. Digital data can be stored very easily compared to analog data. The operations of the digital data acquisition are in the digital form. The main operations carried out are acquisition of analog signal. Once analog signals are acquired, they get converted into the digital form using analog to digital converter, and processing of digital signals so that it drives the display stage or the next stage of operation. So in today's class, we have completed the data acquisition systems. We have seen in brief about the printers, the inkjet and laser printer, which we have studied in our last session. We have seen a brief recap of them, and we saw multiplexers, what is the function of multiplexer, and we have understood the working principle of multiplexer using AND gate circuit, and we finally understood what exactly the data acquisition system is. So with this understanding, let us move into a simple multiple choice question session. First question: what is a multiplexer? Definition type question. Option A: it is a type of decoder which decodes several inputs and gives one output. Option B: it is a multiplexer, a device which converts many signal into one. Option C: it takes one input and results into many output. Option D: it is a type of encoder which decodes several inputs and gives one output. Here the answer you would have known already. Multiplexer is not a decoder. Option A says it is a type of decoder. Therefore, this is not a right answer. A multiplexer is a device which converts many signal into one. This is the right answer. Option C: it takes one input and results in many output. This is the definition of demultiplexer. It is a type of encoder. It is still wrong. It is not an encoder. So option B, it's a device which converts many signal into one, is the right answer. Second question: which is the major functioning responsibility of the multiplexing combinational circuit? First option: decoding the binary information, generation of all minterms in an output function with OR gate, generation, option C, generation of selected path between multiple sources and a single destination. Option D, encoding of binary information. Answer is direct here. Option C, generation of selected path between multiple paths and single destination. The major functioning of multiplexing combinational circuit is this: a multiplexer, because it is a device that selects one of the several analog or digital input signals and forwards the selected input into a single line depending on the active selected lines. Question 3. A digital multiplexer is a combinational circuit that selects dash. A digital, option A, one digital information from several sources and transmits the selected one. Option B, many digital information and convert them into one. Option C, many decimal inputs and transmit selected information. Option D, many decimal outputs and accepts selected information. So the answer is very direct. The digital multiplexer selects one digital information from several sources and transmits to the selected one. Option A is the right answer for the third question. Question 4. In a multiplexer, the selection of a particular input line is controlled by. So we know the selection among the different inputs are taken care by the selected lines. That is option B. Here it is not the data controller, not the logic gates, not both data controller and selected line. Option B, the selected lines are the very reason for selection of particular input from the different alternatives available. Fifth question, if the number of n selected input lines is equal to 2 power m, then it requires dash select lines. We have discussed this already. When number of n selected input is equal to, when the number of inputs lines is equal to 2 power m, it requires dash selected lines. The selected lines are represented given by m, 2 power m. So this is number of input lines, m is the number of selected lines. It is a direct question. Option B is the right answer. Sixth question, how many NOT gates are required for the construction of a 4:1 multiplexer? We have seen the logic gate, we have understood the number of NOT gates required is 2, whereas AND gates required, the question may be asked for AND gates 4 and OR gates required is 1. NOT gate required is 2 number of NOT gates are required in order to complement the select lines. Option C is the right answer. Seventh question, the 2 input mux would have dash select lines. We have the formula 2 power m equal to number of inputs. Here it is 2 input, so we will write 2. So 2 power m will be equal to 2. Therefore, the value of m is 2 power 1 is equal to 2. Value of m is 1. 1 select line. Therefore, option A is the right answer for 7th question. Question 8. A combinational circuit that selects one from many inputs are dash. A direct question. A combinational circuit selecting one input from many alternatives is nothing but a multiplexer. Option D is the right answer. Question 9. So it's again a repetition, sorry. Question 9. The combinational circuit that selects one from many inputs are, it is multiplexer. Option D is the right answer. 10th question. In a 1:4 multiplexer, how many select lines are required? So see different way it is asked. 1:4. When we say 1:4, it means 4 input lines and 1 output line. When the number of inputs are 4, we equate this by 2 power m. What is the value of m which will result in m? That is 2 power 2, that equal to 4. Therefore, the m value is nothing but the number of select lines. M is equal to number of select lines. Therefore, option A is the right answer for the 10th question. So in a 1:4 multiplexer, if C1 is 0 and C2, that is C0, it is represented as, let us say this is C2, is 1, then the output will be, so here we have the circuit represented, so you can easily analyze. I will give you the answer directly. It is 1. You can take it as an activity and find out how the output y1 is generated from the value C1 equal to 0 and C2 equal to 1. Option B is the right answer. Next question. How many select lines are required for a 1:8 demultiplexer? So when we say 1:8 or 8:1, it is one and the same. 8 inputs and 1 output. 8 inputs, we know the relation 2 power m equal to 8. 8 input lines. M represents the number of select lines. So 2 power 3 will make it equal to 8. Therefore, the number of input lines required is 3. Option B is the right answer for the 12th question. So with this, we conclude this session, and we'll be meeting you in the next session with few more topics. Thank you all.